Biblical Archaeology, 10. Archaeological finds. 800 BC to 700 BC clay seals and inscriptions with names of biblical kings and prophets. The Bible records the history of the relationship between God and the children of Abraham. Archaeology confirms many of the historical details mentioned in the Bible. In this video series, we discuss various examples.
The prophet Isaiah. In 2015, archaeologists working in Israel discovered a bulla, the clay impression of a seal, that belonged to King Hezekiah.
10 feet away was another bulla. This one bore the name Isaiah. The Isaiah of the Bible was Hezekiah's advisor in the late 8th and early 7th centuries BC.
As such, it would be no surprise to find clay seals, of these two men, near each other. In an even more exciting twist, the name Isaiah was followed by the Hebrew letters NVY. The next expected letter would be the Hebrew letter Aleph. So, the seal would spell out what would translate to Isaiah the prophet. The Samaria Ostraca, approximately 700 BC, written roughly a generation prior to the city's destruction by the Assyrians in 722 BC. The Samaria Ostraca are rare examples of writing from ancient Israel, as opposed to Judah. They bear witness to northern Hebrew and to royal scribal practices under the Israelite monarchy.
Ketef Hinnom Amulets,
7th century BC. Miniature writing on ancient amulets have inscriptions on them from Numbers chapter 6 verse 24-26. The Gemariah Seal, 7th to 6th century BC, mentions the son of Shaphan, who was a high official at the court of Jehoiakim of Judah.
Belshazzar,
the second most powerful man in Babylon, 6th century BC. How archaeology vindicated the Bible's curious claims about King Belshazzar.
First, in 1854, 4 clay cylinders with identical inscriptions were excavated from Ur.
These Nabonidus cylinders contained Nabonidus' prayer to the moon god for Belshazzar, the eldest son, my offspring. Thus, Belshazzar's existence was confirmed, as Nabonidus' firstborn son and heir to his throne. Then, in 1882, a translation of another ancient cuneiform text, the Nabonidus Chronicle, was published. According to this document, Nabonidus was a mostly absentee king, spending 10 years of his 17-year reign living in Tema, Arabia, 725 kilometers, 450 miles away from Babylon. The king left Belshazzar, whom the text calls the crown prince, to take care of affairs in Babylon during that time.
Also, the Chronicle explained that Nabonidus was away from Babylon when it fell.
2 days earlier he had fled from the Persians when they defeated him at Sippar. So Belshazzar was the highest authority in Babylon at the time of its capture. Next, the Persian verse account of Nabonidus, published in 1924, stated that, as he started out for a long journey, Nabonidus entrusted the kingship to his oldest son, the firstborn. So, Belshazzar clearly functioned in the role of a king for years while his father was away. Furthermore, a variety of other ancient cuneiform texts were found in the early 1900s which also mentioned Belshazzar, including a tablet from Erech in which both he and his father Nabonidus were jointly invoked in an oath, suggesting that both had royal authority. Remarkably, this also sheds light on a small detail in the biblical text: why King Belshazzar only offered the third highest position in the kingdom to Daniel. Since Nabonidus remained alive until even after Babylon fell, this means that Belshazzar was more like a co-regent, ruling at the same time as, and under the authority of, his father. So Nabonidus was in the number 1 position, while Belshazzar was actually second. This explains why Belshazzar could not offer to Daniel the second spot in the kingdom. Third place was the highest position available. The fact that Daniel is historically accurate, even down to what once seemed to be an insignificant detail, shows that Daniel's account was penned near the time of the circumstances it records. Conclusion: many historical details from the Bible have been confirmed by archaeology. And there is no biblical narrative that has been falsified by archaeology. The Bible can be trusted as a collection of historical documents.
Thanks to Michael Moat for compiling this information.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.